Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Be Honestly You. Today, we are diving into something I think many of us know all too well: the relentless inner critic. I can tell you from personal experience, silencing this voice hasn't been easy. For as long as I can remember, I've struggled with a loud inner critic, constantly judging every step I took and every choice I made. It took years to realize the toll it was taking on my life, my confidence, and most importantly, my ability to feel at peace within myself. I can definitely relate. I can relate to any of these topics because silencing that inner critic that many times has told me that I was not worthy, that I was not enough, that I was not smart or creative or talented or professional. All these thoughts, all this inner critic kept me stuck, kept me, um, I guess, just there, stuck and not taking action, not believing in myself. Um, was the consequence of this inner critic, not believing in myself, not acknowledging who I am, not embracing who I am. So I can definitely relate to, with whoever can relate with me. um if you're here, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe you have that voice too, the one that criticizes, finds faults, and reminds you of every little mistake. It's a voice that can make us feel small and question our worth. And honestly, it's exhausting. Today, I want to talk about how we start silencing that voice and replacing it with something kinder, more compassionate. So, as an example for me, yes, being compassionate when that voice comes up, because it always does, it never goes away, no matter how, wise and smart and guru you are, it just doesn't go away. So, how I have managed to silence that inner critic is loving myself, being compassionate and understanding that where I want to where I want to go or where I'm going, it takes time. It takes action. And the only way that I'm going to get there is if I start believing in myself and taking those actions to get there. And knowing that to get there, it's going to take time. It's going to get, it's going to, I have to let go of those fears, of those false beliefs in order to get there. So I have to start believing in myself. I have to start trusting in myself. I have to have faith in my abilities, in who I am, in my gifts and my talents. I have to start acknowledging who I am and accepting that this is me. This is it, and once you realize that, hey, this is who I am. This is it. There's nothing else. As of 45 years old that I am, 45 years young, uh, this is the knowledge, that I have gathered. And I'm not gonna pretend to be someone else, in order to feel better. No, I'm gonna embrace who I am to make me, to make me believe, to make me have the confidence that yes, I can do this as well. I remember a time not too long ago when my inner critic was at its loudest. I wake up already feeling like I'd somehow fallen short before the day even began. I replay mistakes I made, question decisions, and find myself feeling inadequate. I felt like I couldn't escape my own judgment, and that voice seemed to shape how I saw myself. It was hard to shake off the belief that being hard on myself was somehow helping me improve. But the truth is, it was only making me feel less capable or more disconnected for myself. Yes, the that inner critic, for some reason, in the morning is the loudest. The minute you wake up, it's gonna start just giving it to you. And you have to understand that if you give in, if you believe, if you continue listening to that morning inner critic, it's just going to get louder, and it's not going to die down until you start giving it love, until you see yourself and say, hey girl, hey woman, hey lady, I am proud of who you are, I am proud of what you've done. Celebrate those small wins. Celebrate yourself, celebrate for what you've done, where you've gotten yourself. Because, hey, you've made it this far. Guess what? You have worked it, you have endured the challenges, endure life. So, celebrate those wins. Let that inner critic, make that inner critic small. Let that inner critic know that, hey, I am celebrating my wins. I am winning. I don't know about you, but I'm winning as I just waking up, getting dressed, having breakfast. Those are things to celebrate because we are here. We're still here. But then I started wondering, what if there was another way? What if I could actually silence that voice or at least quiet it down? I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I started learning how to replace judgment with self compassion and thought I'm still on this journey. I want to share some of the things that have helped me. If you're struggling with self judgment or an overactive inner critic, maybe these tips can help you too. So here I will share with you some of the tips and tricks that I've done um, to help you on this journey. All right, here are some steps you can try to silence or soften that critical voice and instead practice a little more self-compassion. Notice the critic. The first step is simply becoming aware of that voice when it pops up. Pay attention to the language it uses and the impact it has on your mood. When you can identify it, you have a chance to separate from it. Challenge the voice. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Often our inner critic exaggerates and makes us believe things that aren't accurate. By challenge it, you can start to see its negativity. Talk to yourself like a friend. Think about how you speak to a friend in the same situation. If they make a mistake or fell down, you probably encourage them, remind them of their strengths, and help them see things from a kinder perspective. Try applying the same gentle approach to yourself. Very true. Use affirmations. I know this may feel strange at first, but affirmations are a powerful way to shift the narrative in your mind. Remind yourself, I am enough. I am allowed to make mistakes, or I am worthy of love and respect. Our thoughts create our reality. If we do not change the narrative, we are going to continue to live the same life. So, affirmations are beautiful. I love them. I am smart. I am beautiful. I am fit. I am creative. Find the affirmation that helps you, that encourages you to take action and to just live and enjoy this life. Practice self compassion rituals, whether it's journaling, meditating, or even spending time in nature. Create space for self compassion in your daily routine. These small acts of kindness can become a foundation of support for when self criticism arises. As From experience, I love journaling in the morning. Right after, I wake up, I get dressed, I do, get ready for to, start my day. I go and I write on my journal because I dump. I literally dump all those thoughts on paper and I start giving gratitude, gratitude for what I have for this day. And I go on my day, you know, dumping all the thoughts and also giving, being grateful for today and for what I am grateful. And that is the most powerful. Gratitude is the most powerful thing you can do because it makes you to be, be here and now, and and just realizing that. Hey, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my husband, for my kids, my health, my parents, my siblings, everything. Just write it down. And just understand that. Just understand that that every changes starts within you. Validate who you are. Validate all your gifts, your talents. Validate your shadows. I mean, understand that you are not who you are if you're not seeing the light and the shadow, because it is all one. I'll be the first to admit that this isn't an overnight change. Silencing the inner critic takes patience and commitment. And there will be days when the voice sneaks back in. But remember, you're human. You're allowed to be a work in progress. Being kind to yourself is one of the most powerful ways to build resilience and rediscover your inner strength. This is an everyday work. This is not going to just finish. You're going to be perfect and hey, no. This is an everyday journey. You have to understand that that inner critic is gonna sneak in. And when it sneaks in, be compassionate, be loving. It's not gonna last. If you dwell on those thoughts, yes, it will stay there because you are feeding the thoughts, you're feeding that inner critic. But if you are compassionate and say, hey girl, I know today's one of those days, you got this, you're doing great, and tomorrow is another day. And based on your actions and your choices for that day when it's happening, that's what's just gonna it's gonna go away. If you It's gonna get better if you feed the right thing, if you feed it love instead of judgment and shame and guilt when that happens, because it will happen. It happens. Well, I hope today's episode has given you some ideas on how to start turning the volume down the volume on the inner critic and start turning up the volume on self-compassion. It's a journey and it's right there with you. And I'm right there with you. In this episode, if this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts or any tips you found helpful. Thank you so much for listening to Be Honestly You. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, be the kindness of love you deserve. Okay, let me say that again because I'm here, English is my second language, and it just my Spanglish just goes there. So thank you so much for listening to Be Honestly You. Until next time, keep showing yourself the kindness and love you deserve. Thank you so much. I am so grateful that you're here, and I am grateful to myself for continuing to believing on myself and knowing that I'm doing the best that I can. Thank you, and until next time.